I'm just waiting for it to send to you. All right. It should be. Are you frozen?
No,
Okay.
it's just very still.
All right. I'm just making sure that we're. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing our video cameras. I'm just waiting for it to send to you.
I thought you were trying to see if you could hear any background noise, so I was trying to be really quiet, picking up my AC. Like I can hear my AC running. I don't know if you were picking it up or something.
Are you
No.
frozen?
No, it's just very still.
All right. We're here. We're golden.
Woo!
We are the golden boot. I'm trying to have like 900 different things up here, so I can see El Chat.
What would be great
What?
if they did a reboot of the Golden Girls with like 90s soccer moms. So now they're like in their late 50s, 60s.
Okay.
And it was like, they just redid it so like the time period it was like they remember being like a mom in the 90s and like going through like the pinnacle soccer mom era, that transition into the 2000s dealing with teenagers during like the grunge years.
I feel that.
Those are the
As
now
long
these
as
are
long
the
as we
great
can
years.
still get the thank you for being a friend. That shit
Yeah, why not?
bangs, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I
I
love
think we should reboot the Golden Girls.
I love the Golden Girls.
Dude, I used to watch it all the time with my grandma.
Yeah, still will watch it today. I'll watch it tomorrow.
I don't even know. Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
'Cause I don't even know where I would stream it if I wanted to watch it tomorrow.
Dude, we could. I'm sure it's on something.
I mean, if you have cable, I'm sure it's on TV Land or whatever.
Yeah, TV Land Plus streaming service.
Their whole market is too old
Yeah,
to understand how to subscribe.
that's funny. That's very true. Okay. Anyway, here we go. That messed me up. That was funny. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Slams Fist Fact Podcast. Rick, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Laughing at the Golden Girls comment that we just were saying. We're gonna reboot the Golden Girls, everybody. We're gonna talk to Universal about this.
First, we solved the world issue, and caused like perfect peace, and then now we're gonna reboot the Golden Girls.
Now we've solved everything because top tier TV show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh man. So, what are you drinking today, Brandon?
Well, I found a Diet Coke in my fridge. I don't know whose it is. Probably my wife's, but it might not be. So I do have a Diet Coke. But we were talking about alcohol. So I'm drinking coffee with Jack Daniels in it. With a little bit of cream. I use the Jack as my sugar.
I can dig it. I can dig it. What kind of blend of coffee is it? Is this your coffee around the
It
world
is.
coffee?
Let me read it to you.
I did not set him up on purpose. I just want you all to know that I did not know he was about to whip out a pamphlet.
It is this brand. It's actually, I have one more brew with this before I'm switching over to Costa Rica. This brand is from Ethiopia. It has little bits of jam, cashew, and lemon hints in it. It is a light roast. It came from the Goma Woreda region of Ethiopia and is 2,100 meters above sea level. That's all my postcard told me. Well,
Now it has
that's a fact sheet, and then I have a postcard from Ethiopia as well.
has hints of sour mash and Tennessee in it.
Yeah. What are you drinking, Richard?
Oh, give me 1 second. I had just realized I had forgot my podcast hat. I feel more comfortable.
It's okay.
On
No
podcast.
one can see it.
Probably not, but I feel more comfortable with my podcast hat on. So I am trying out a new beverage for the first time on stream. The Arnold Palmer spiked 5% half and half. So I've had a couple swigs of it so far, and it is pretty tasty. We were actually just talking about it off stream because I was looking at it. It says, the market's at 5% alcohol. We were talking, that's 4.4% more than Bud Light. Ranks right up there with, what
Point
was it,
eight,
Budweiser and
0.8%, 0.9.
0.8. Sorry, I'm mixing up the numbers now because we talked about like three different beers comparatively. So, yeah, it's 5%, which is 0.8% more than Bud Light. And it's right there with Budweiser and, what do you say, Miller Banquet?
No, Coors Banquet and Heineken.
Coors Banquet. And it is tasty. I mean, you don't know you're drinking alcohol. So, like, and it's 24 ounces. It's huge. So, if we brought like a few of these out to the golf course or something, this would be a really good time.
I'm trying to convince Rick to go play golf with us to go play golf with me next weekend. I just need to find somebody's clubs.
Just find me clubs that like, they don't have to be a perfect fit for me. I'm not good enough for that to matter. I'm relatively the right size, and I'll I'll do it.
Yeah, because
I'll go play around.
It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We'll try to do it. But anyway, thank you as always for Mac for doing the wonderful drink suggestion. I will shout you out from the beginning of every podcast to all the way until we don't podcast anymore when we're 85 years old. You did this drink thing. We love it. We're going to do it a little different, starting today with Rick. Me, I've had coffee on here 1,000 times, just not with liquor in it. We're gonna do different drinks.
We know of.
We're gonna do different drinks every week and kind of review them. Drinks that we don't normally drink. So we'll buy like one big can of something and just let you know how it is. Throw a little bit to the thing. If we record on the weekends, we might have multiple of them and let you know how they go down the road. But Rick, I want to get into the draft because we're doing two different things this week. We're doing one draft and then one surprise thing that Rick is going to make me do that I halfway know about. Yeah. But it's your turn to pick first, and we're doing red drafts. Not red things, red logos. That's it. So no fire trucks. But you get to go first.
Darn it. And
I had fire truck as my number one.
With the first overall pick, the red logo draft, Manchester United to Team Rick. Simply so that Brandon cannot have them. You're on the clock, sir.
That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Rick trolled me when we were talking about this earlier. That he was taking the Kool-Aid Man as the number one pick. I'm taking... God, now what do I want to do? Now, you didn't take any of the ones I thought you were going to take. I'm going to take Netflix. Because everybody and their brother and mom has Netflix. I'm taking the red Netflix in as my number one.
I'm going to be honest here. I really hoped I could goat you into spitefully choosing Ohio State. So I could have a clip that said you drafted Ohio State number one.
I'm not going to draft them. I'm sorry. You can take
with my number 2 pick.
Okay.
With my number 2 pick, Red Bull.
Ooh, good one. I had Red Bull on my board. They were. So I am going and I am taking pretty much everything that engulfed our high school every morning and every night that we'd fall asleep to if we were very tired. And I'm going to take ESPN.
That's a good pick. I love that. That is actually, when I think of red logos, one of the first that would come to mind.
ESPN, or the Sports Center logo, which is part of ESPN. It's just all red. But continue.
Big Red.
What?
If you don't choose Big Red, if you don't choose Big Red, Brandon,
then fuck you. Oh, dude, this is great.
I told you I just messed them all up. Made him think I was sandbagging this draft.
Yeah. I'm gonna take fucking YouTube then, bro. The platform that we're on right now doing this. This wouldn't be possible without YouTube.
Fair enough. The play button. One day we want one of those platinum play buttons, Mr. Beast.
I'll take a gold one first. Everyone, well, we can work up. We don't have to go straight to platinum.
Well, you just heard him. He'll take the gold one. I'll take the platinum when we get it. Number 4 is where we get dicey. This is the late stages are what make it break the
I
draft.
do not think it gets dicey here.
I think there's a lot of logos you forgot about then.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's a lot of good ones. I just don't have any idea after your first
Correct.
3 picks what the fuck you're picking.
Icons. Number 4, Target logo.
Oh, that's a good
Got to
one.
go after it.
I had that. The Target logo is good. All right. I want to throw this out there because I'll let you have it at 5 if we say yes, maybe. Did we say that we were allowing Coke as a red logo? The red logo Coke that is on my Coke right now is that one. It is?
Okay, that's your.
No. I'm asking. Before
I said
pick.
yes.
Okay, cool. I'm taking Chick-fil-A as my number 4 pick.
You gave the bait and switch hard on that one, you guys.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Taking Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so for number 5, to round it out, I want to go with almost an underrated red logo, I think. Because unless like you're really into like motorcycles, I feel like you're not a big fan. But Mitsubishi is a sick logo.
I
So I'm
agree.
picking the Mitsubishi logo.
So I'm glad you didn't say this one because I was only banking on these guys being my number 5 pick. I think Mitsubishi's a solid pick. They have a great logo. I really do. But one that we forgot that could arguably be the most noticeable band logo, and I'm taking the Rolling Stones mouth logo. The one with the tongue.
Okay, that's a good pick. That is.
I
I wasn't saying that at 10 logos we ran thin. I was saying
No.
we needed to get the best possible 10.
I have food, sports, entertainment, and music in mind, and so do you.
Yeah,
Well, you don't
I
have
I don't have
entertainment.
correct, but I have an auto manufacturer, a large retail store, Red Bull, Manchester United soccer team, motherfuckers.
The fact that you took that blows my mind. I want to throw some honorable mentions out there. Besides
Yeah, absolutely.
Coke, I feel like I couldn't take Coke today because we argued about Coke so much last night with it. So, whatever. Coke, honorable mention. Nintendo is a great red logo. Tesla is a cool car logo. I will say
Tesla's
it's not
on my
as cool.
board.
I will say it's not as cool as Mitsubishi's, so I think you're smart with taking that. Near and dear to my heart, Marvel is a red logo. One that nobody uses anymore. Or actually, everybody has this. They just don't want to pay the subscription to use it unless you're like a huge editor, is the Adobe logo. Everybody has Adobe something on their computer, but they just don't use it. Last one, an RIP Redbox.
There's still red boxes.
Yeah, but they don't get used that much.
Yeah. I actually made a joke about almost borrowing a red box while I was on a road trip just to drop it off at a different red box like hundreds of miles away.
That'd be cool.
My 2 honorable mentions, I want to throw out there. Tesla was said now. The Miami Heat logo, I really think is one of the coolest basketball logos in the NBA. I just do. Not a Miami Heat fan, but like, I really like the logo. And Puma. I think Puma is also a sick red logo. And those were my honorable mentions. So, Brandon, how would you like to do this? You want to do our history facts, or do you want to go into your blind challenge?
I will go with the blind challenge next, but I want to throw out breaking news as of 10 minutes ago. For baseball and Vegas fans, because you know the Oakland A's are moving there. This just came upon Twitter. They just made up a deal with Ballycorp. They're going to tear down the Tropicana, which is right beside the MGM, to build a $1.5 billion baseball park right on the Vegas Strip. So it'll be across the street from uh kind of the Luxor and not New York, New York, but the medieval castle looking one. So it's going to be like half a mile away from the Raiders Stadium. But this is on the strip. I walked through Tropicana's parking lot a couple months ago when I was in Vegas.
So, what is their what is their thing going to be moving to Vegas? Like, what's their little acronym going to be?
They'll probably be the
Oh,
Vegas Athletics. I don't think they'll change the name.
I'm saying, will it come up when it comes up? The three little initials on
Oh,
the screen will it be like
LVA.
LVA?
Probably
How
LVA.
are you going to know? How are you going to know they're not talking about the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team?
Because I think people can tell the difference that you're watching
Nope.
baseball or basketball.
Nope. No, I'm talking about on a sports ticker.
I mean, they could just make it the ATH for the Athletics.
True.
But anyway, all right.
That's cool. It's really cool.
Explain the blind ranking thing to everybody.
So I'm still wrapping my head around how crazy popular that stadium's going to be, being on the strip. Oh my god, it's going to be amazing. Great tourism move. So for our blind top five, you may have seen similar things. What's going to happen is I have five things of a certain subject matter, and I'm going to give them to Brandon one at a time. He has to place them one through five. Cannot change the places after he's said it. We're going to get his top five today. Olympic sports. Are you ready, Brandon?
Of Olympic sports, I have and it's
To be
just
specific, it is the Summer Olympic sports.
okay. I'm ranking them off of how I like to watch them. So here we go. Which is what I'm doing essentially.
Might not watch all these. We'll see.
I got you. All right,
But I'm gonna start. I'm gonna throw you a nice, easy, slow pitch right down the center. Golf.
I'm doing. There's 5, 3.
Okay. You guys, he loves golf, so that's interesting. I was not expecting
Well,
that.
I'm looking at it as how I liked watching it in the Olympics.
Fair enough. Water polo.
4.
Okay. Volleyball.
Sand or inside?
Inside.
2. I love
Ooh,
volleyball.
I agree. Fencing.
5.
Snap call.
Okay.
You know why you're gonna be happy that you left this
What?
number one spot open? I was trying to bait you a couple times. Soccer.
Boom, baby.
Soccer.
I feel like that is a great blind for me.
I think if you were to know all five of them, you'd have put them in the same order.
I think so too. Honestly,
like so we got
you baited me hard with golf. I know you did.
so we got soccer, volleyball, golf, water polo, fencing. I also do want to point out, if any of you have never watched Olympic water polo, you should give it a shot. It is a freaking hardcore sport. The fact that they're doing all of it while swimming and like beating each other to death, incredibly impressive.
I agree. Man, that was funny. That was good. That was good. You got me with the golf. If you would have gave me golf as like the second or third option, I would have been tough for me to choose.
I almost threw fencing at you first.
I mean, I would have put that 5. Like, I was like, if there is anything worse than that, whatever. Screw it. Fencing's 5th.
Okay. So what do you have for fun facts of this week in history, man?
Fun facts for this week in history. On the 7th of May, 1945, World War II unconditionally ended with in Europe at least, with Germany surrendering, and then the next day they actually signed the document to have VE Day, which for all you non-history nerds out there, it stands for Victory in Europe Day. But I will always, I don't care how boring it gets. If I find a World War II fact, I'm throwing it in the podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
Respect, respect.
Which one do you have?
In 1869, Central Pacific and Union Pacific railroads are connected in Promontory, sorry if I butchered that, Utah, to form the first transcontinental railway in the United States. So it finally linked all the way from East Coast to West Coast once those two railroads were merged.
I feel like the West Coast team or the East Coast team got the crap into the stick on that one. They had to go a lot further away than the West Coast team had to.
Well, they started building in different sections. So that's actually why when it actually finished, met in Utah. Like they were both West Coast railroad companies when they finally
Oh, and
merged.
it, okay.
East Coast had developed so much more ahead of time,
Yeah.
settled so much earlier. So that's finally though when the East Coast got linked to West Coast via railroad.
Hmm.
1869.
Interesting. I don't have anything less historized. Is that a
I don't
word?
think that's a word. I don't think so.
I don't have anything more historized. I'm committing than 1945. So in 1980, yesterday, May 8th, smallpox has been eradicated. There was no more smallpox in the United States, which is great because I don't want that.
Fun fact, not necessarily this because we don't do birthdays anymore, but shout out to my mom's birthday is May 8th. And so happy birthday, mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you for letting me stay at your house next weekend. And clearly Rick's dad as well, but just not happy birthday anymore. Thank you both for letting me stay at your house.
In 1962, Marvel releases the first issue of The Incredible Hulk, coded as an anti-hero. It was very early on in its time. I don't want to say it was. I don't think Hulk was the first one, but they market him as an anti-hero because he loses himself in rage to smash things.
Correct. You're saying you don't think he was the first Marvel anti-hero? Or you're just saying no, I mean he's not.
That's what I'm saying, but he was early on.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's probably one of the most iconic.
Namor was the first Marvel anti-hero in 1939. Dome piece memory right there. I also just looked it up on my phone. Well, in 1960, today actually, May 9th, 1960, U.S., the United States, we were the first country to legalize the birth control pill. Which is very interesting that it took all the way to 60. But also can understand that because modern medicine and stuff. So, I don't know. I am not a birth control pill expert, so I do not know anything about it besides what it does.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you the whole history of it either.
Me neither. I know what it does.
But that is interesting. You said 1960.
Yep. So before we walked on the moon and after World War II, we decided to legalize birth control. There may have been birth control pills before that, but it was not legal to get or to use.
In 1997, EM's Deep Blue defeated Gary Kasparov in the last of a 6-game match, winning the series 3.5 games to 2.5 games, in making it the first time a current world champion had lost a match to a computer under tournament conditions.
That's crazy. I lose to computers all the time in everything I play.
So that was a huge iconic moment because all the the world champions and grandmasters develop a calculative enough computer software program to recognize things where it could beat them. Like I said, in a tournament setting, so it was multiple games. This one finally did it, as well as Gary Kasparov being known as one of the best all-time world champions at chess.
Sure.
It was a real big deal.
I feel that.
What's crazy is that is only 26 years ago.
Well, I mean, yeah, because 36 years ago, computers were the size of a warehouse.
He couldn't even beat somebody.
Hmm?
You
I I could beat that computer,
think so?
of course.
Turn it off.
Nope, because it probably doesn't even work anymore.
I don't know. I feel like IBM might have kept that one running for sentimental reasons.
Or it's in a Smithsonian. I mean, you said what? That's 26 years ago. So yeah, I mean, I was born before that. So
We know, Grandpa.
I'm I'm not old.
Have you guys ever seen a more defeated look than when a man lays his face onto his microphone?
It's just I set sorry. I I set myself up for failure so easily. You know, somebody at work today was talking about wet willies. I don't know why this popped into my head. And just speaking of setting for failure, this set up this kid for failure the rest of the day because we didn't let it go. He was in a funny way threatening his buddy that was also working with him that he was going to give him a wet willy if he doesn't stop messing with them. But he called it a fucking Willie Nelson because he didn't know what the wet willy was. And oh, dude, you talking about the look of defeat? That was a lay your face on the microphone type of move right there. It was amazing. And like, you better stop or I'm gonna give you a Willie Nelson. It's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna roll a joint and just hand it to me? Like, how's it working?
Are you gonna serenade him?
Yeah. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
It's not Willie Nelson.
100% it is. He is in that song. It's Waylon Jennings, isn't it?
Go ahead and lay that face back on that microphone, buddy.
I swear. Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. It's a duet. I knew Willie Nelson was in that song.
Not by Willie Nelson.
It literally says by Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson.
It's featured. Feature term hadn't been used yet.
It
It's
says-
definitely a Waylon Jennings song.
Can't go? Do this to clear out stuck poop fast. Fiber helps you poop, right? Nope.
Just had to skip the poop ad there real quick. They are on the cover together. I might not need to play this. It might we might get
Yeah, that's a bad
copyrighted,
call.
copyrighted stuff. He's on that song. I knew he was on that song. So don't look at me like I'm an idiot. Not defeated there. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
We'll call that the 0.5 between Deep Blue and Kasparov right there. We'll call that one the draw.
That's it. So, 1994, tomorrow, May 10th. My boy Nelson Mandela was sworn in as the first black president for South Africa. And that is what started the Mandela effects. Was that right there?
I mean, that's just the... Okay.
What? Continue, because I got a whole article right here about the history of the Mandela effects ready to go.
That's just where they started to use that name for it.
So, a lot
It
of...
ever occurred before 1994.
Nope.
Okay.
So the reason it's called the Mandela effect.
Well, can you explain it first in case anyone isn't familiar?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So the reason it's called the Mandela effect is because of Nelson Mandela, clearly. Funny, same last name. But so what it is, it's where a group of people or a certain population all have the same memories of a certain event, phenomenon that happened, but it differs from what is actually the real thing. So a lot of people, it started being called the Mandela effect because it was international news in 94 when Mandela was sworn in as the South African president, because there were a lot, he was already famous. People knew his name. People knew that, he was in jail for 20 something years, whatever. A lot of people swore that they remember his death being covered on the news in the 80s, that he died in prison. And then when he got elected as the president, there was a wide population that was confused about it because they all thought he was dead. Hence the Mandela effect. A lot of people think this happened, but it's really this way. So I have a couple cool ones that I want to talk about, and I want to give you questions on which it is. So the one,
Hang on. I'm bad because I love this. I love this. Like, I've done this deep dive before on these videos that, like, what do you remember? Is it this or this? And I think the videos made it worse for me because now even ones I didn't know were like wrong are now in my head. Like, they've told me the wrong ones.
I'll start you off easy. Is it the Bernstein or the Berenstein Bears?
Stein.
Huh?
Berenstein.
Stein. Right.
Okay, now this turns into a spelling bee.
So no. Okay, listen. so Bernstein or Bernstein? Bears.
It's not said like that. What do you mean?
The Bernstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears?
Bernstein.
So it's EIN or AIN. So Steen is what you're choosing. It's AIN. It's Berenstain Bears.
Okay, I didn't know this was gonna turn into a spelling bee. Okay.
It's not. That's the only one because it's a book. Fruit Loops. Is it spelled Fruit Loops or is it FROOT Loops? Like Fruit Loops, kind of wacky and crazy.
It's UIT.
It's OOT. It's
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's these.
Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father?
No, I am your father.
It is no, I am your father. Anybody that thinks it's Luke, I'm your father, you're just not a real Star Wars fan. You're wrong.
I know. Correct. And also, I know one that is also going to be on your list. If it's not on your list, I'm going to be.
I'm just reading this top 10 that I have. There's another one that people think that Kit Kat has a little dash between Kit and Kat. That little dash was never there. Looney Tunes. People think it's LOONEYTOONS, like the Looney Tunes cartoons. It's not. It's TUNES,
UNES, like tunes.
Yep. The Monopoly Man having a monocle. A lot of people think he had a monocle. He does not. Never has. Never will. Pikachu. We all choose you. Does not have a black tip on the end of his tail. He has a full yellow tail. A lot of people think he's got a black tip on the end of his tail. A lot of people, for some reason, I don't know why this one's on here because I've never seen this show. A lot of people thought. Go ahead.
I want to throw out there that I think a lot. I genuinely think that a lot of the confusion on the Pikachu tail thing because his ears have the black edges on his ear. I really think that's what threw a lot of people off. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, a lot of people thought Sex and the City used to be called Sex in the City. It is not a Sex and the City. Sex as in sex, and then the city being
sex as in sex,
and then the city being New York. Another one that's kind of weird is a lot of people think that the universal blood type is O, but that is not true. It's O negative. That's a weird one. I don't like that one. And then the one that started it all off, people thought Mandela died in the early 1980s. People remember funeral snippets on his TV, an Oprah episode about his death. So, I don't know. They're weird. Mandela effects are weird.
You want to know another one?
Sure.
Captain Kirk never says, "Beam me up, Scotty." Entire Star Trek series.
Does anybody say it? Who says it?
No one.
Ever.
Scotty is the guy running the transportation. They never actually say, "Me up, Scotty." It's similar to the Luke, "I am your father" thing.
Yeah, it's never He only always says, beam me up. He did say once, Scotty, beam us up, but it's never beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, but you hear that so often when people joke, like people that aren't Trekkies, which I'm not.
No.
People
No,
that
not
aren't
at all.
Trekkies joke and say, "Beam me up, Scotty." Like it was never said in the show.
No. Did you ever think that the Jif peanut butter was ever named Jiffy peanut butter? That's a thing that people
Think of
thought.
Jiffy Lube,
That's true.
the car place.
Yeah. But
I want to say there was something about the Peter Pan peanut butter too. There's a lot of interesting things out there.
I agree. There's a lot of people. You know the famous painting. This one's weird. You know the famous painting of Henry VIII. He's all standing there like all big and proud or whatever. A lot of people think he's holding a turkey leg while he's doing that. Yeah, famous ass portrait for the castle or wherever the fuck it goes, Westminster Abbey, wherever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one.
No, me neither.
But what if he used to have that turkey leg in his hand, and then Napoleon took it in his coat pocket in Napoleon's famous portrait?
And Napoleon stealing it from. Were they
Yes,
even alive
I
at the
think-
same time?
They were not, but I think it's now my new conspiracy theory is it's like the Harry Potter move.
Portraits move. Portraits
Yeah.
move. We just don't know.
And Napoleon stole his turkey leg and had to hide it.
I like it.
Coat.
What's your last one? Because this is my favorite one. I say, what is it? I know what it is, but what is it? Because I'm excited for it. Huh?
My last what?
Your last history thing.
I'm out. What do you mean?
You didn't
I said
say
all
the Indian one?
Oh no, I wasn't actually gonna throw that in there. We did talk about this a little bit when we were going back and forth talking about the podcast. Oh, see, now you put me on the spot. I don't remember the year. I didn't write it
Okay,
down.
it was in the 60s. I remember
1887?
this. So, okay.
Oh, it's in the 1800s.
No. No, it is not.
I think it is.
No.
I think it is because you got to be You're talking about the Indian rebellion against the British Empire. I think it's the 1800s. I think it's like 1887 or 1878, something like that, sticking in my head.
Why am I thinking of 1960 for some reason?
That is not right. I don't know.
1920s. 1920s.
Was it really?
Yeah. I mean, the British was an empire all the way until pretty much the 40s. The 30s.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying, I thought the revolution in India took
20s.
place earlier than that. Really.
So there's this amazing movie. I think we've talked about it before on here.
We may have.
I got Rick to watch it, and Rick has now seen it twice. It's a long movie, everyone. It's about 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's called
It's really
RRR. It is about the Indian rebellion against the British Empire. It follows two best friends who, in all honesty, are based on true people, but they are superheroes in this movie. It is basing it off of their folklore and not their actual things that it happened. Let me tell you, I don't care if you watch this movie in 6 parts, watch it. It's on Netflix. It is one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It was on. They did the dance in the Oscars this year. There was a dance dedicated to that movie from people that were like background dancers when they did the big friend dance together.
Yes.
In the Oscars this year. If that didn't get you hyped to watch it, you should go watch it, guys. It's phenomenal.
Called Triple R. So you can literally just search in Netflix RRR and it'll come up. I looked it up. It's one of the top 10 highest grossing Bollywood films of all time. It is a great watch. It is long. It is phenomenal.
I love it. Is it a Bollywood film?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure?
Pretty sure.
I don't know. Either way, because I know Bollywood's a certain thing. It is a foreign film. It is
It is
phenomenal.
It is made from an Indian production company. I'm not sure if it's actually Bollywood or not.
It's phenomenal. Like there's this scene where a car flips, a British general is flying through the air because this car is doing a front flip, grabs his gun that was also flying through the air and gets a shot off and hits somebody, all while flipping through the air in slow motion. Phenomenal.
That's
Phenomenal.
not even the craziest thing that happens.
That's probably the most sane thing that you're like, yeah, that could happen. In, in that movie.
It is great. Oh man, can't not enough great things could be said about that whole film and the actors and actresses in it.
Watch it. We're doing a whole movie review on it next week. We're just gonna do a live watch through. That's great. My last thing that I have completely. I have nothing else after this written down. The World Health Organization said COVID ended last week.
The pandemic.
Well, it didn't say it ended, but yeah, said that local governments should just worry about it in their areas instead of it being a widespread thingy. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. About time it ended, thankfully. Or
One
it's
of
not
the
a
best.
pandemic anymore.
Just the fact you said that. One of the best things. So I used to have a wilderness first responder certification for when I used to do a lot of stuff in the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite quotes from my instructor ever, who's an outright brilliant guy, was, "What does WOOFR stand for?" And people started to say, Wilderness First Responder, the acronym WFR.
Okay.
He said, "Say it with me, not a doctor." He's like, "You're not doctors." He's like, "This is just training to help stabilize people in bad situations when you're in the back country, educate you on what to do." He's like, "But by no means
Are
you a doctor."
are you a doctor?
And that stuck with me hardcore. So when you just said that, I'm not a doctor, I was like, "Yep, me
I'm not.
neither."
I don't claim to be. I'm
Never
not.
have,
I'm
never
not.
will. Can't get me,
I'm not
FBI.
going to be. My wife is going to be a doctor. Soon, in 3 years, a doctor of education. So she's not a medical doctor, but she is a doctor. She will be a doctor. So starting this week, you can all start referring to me as Dr. McManus. That's the only way I'll accept letters, fan mail, all of the things. I am now Dr. McManus. Is it my wife doing all of the work and me just sitting here? Yes, 100%. Am I going to have every letter addressed to both of us to Dr. Amy or to Dr. Amy and Brandon McManus? You're damn right I am.
Phenomenal.
I mean, hey, I'm a doctor. What else do you have? Anything?
Just to touch on some sports going on, because
Sure.
we got the NBA playoffs happening. One, I do want to point out that I made some great predictions. I don't think I actually made them on this podcast, but I've been talking to some people recently, and we were going back and forth as people do sometimes about sports. Um, Lakers are up 3-1 currently in the series against the Warriors. Called it. And also the Heat are up 3-1 against the Knicks. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I did pick the Lakers and the Heat to win those series. I'm really happy with how they're playing. I will say, I think, barring a crazy comeback by the Golden State Warriors, because you know how rare it is for anyone to come back from down 3-1 in the NBA playoffs. Either way, though, let's just say somehow the Warriors do. Whoever wins that series, I think, wins the West. Genuinely, the Nuggets and the Suns are both good teams. They're duking it out, tied to a piece. See either of those teams beating the Lakers or in an off chance the Warriors, even when the Warriors are playing well. And then in the East, I think it's a little more of a toss-up. I do definitely think the Heat take care of business and close out the Knicks. But the 76ers and the Celtics are both basketball teams, and they're tied to a piece as well. So it's funny because both sides of the NBA right now One series that's 3-1, and
2-1.
one series that's 2-2.
2-2.
Which actually, as we're saying this, one of the games, the Celtics 76ers game might be ending, so it won't be 2-2 anymore. But either way, I think that one's a toss-up. I still think the Heat are the team to beat in the East because
76ers are up, or they won,
76ers
so they're
are
up 3-2 now. They won
Oh, they are okay.
They won 115 to 103.
Okay, good game.
Embiid dropped 78 points.
No,
No, he dropped 33 though.
I won't believe that. I have to go read that for myself.
Dude,
And shout out to Joel Embiid for getting MVP this season. Now if that's a blessing or a curse, we'll see. But I do think playoff Jimmy Butler's a different animal. He's got that dog in him. I think Jimmy Butler is scary. So I still think the Heat are the team to beat in the East, but it really could go either way. Whether the 76ers or the Celtics take that series.
I will say Al Horford today with a amazing stat line for the Celtics. 0 for 7 on field goals, plus 0 for 7 on 3 points and 5 rebounds. Way to play your heart out, son. Good job.
Okay, but I, not on this podcast, but am a huge critic of Al Horford and the contract the Celtics gave him, everything. I think he's his prime. I think it's ridiculous what they paid him to go there.
He finagled some money for sure.
Not tonight, but the last game they played locked Joel up most of the game. He had 5 blocks. I was incredibly impressed. That man turned back the wheels of time 15 years.
And somebody else that needs to turn back the wheels of time who didn't play today is Blake Griffin. He plays for the Celtics. Just throw him in there and let him pretend he's 22 years old again.
That man's knees and back hurt.
He is. But
yeah,
Suns
no,
and
that's-
Suns and
I get
Nuggets
that
tip
little-
off like right now. So
Yeah, I knew they played tonight. If I had to pick, I think Suns take that series. I do. I think they edge it out. KD and Book are just too hard to stop from scoring.
true.
It's a good series.
I want to throw it out there for all the people that said that the little NBA bubble was a fluke. You got the 2 teams that are probably the favorites to make the finals were in the finals in that little bubble thing.
Which
Right.
is crazy because both of them came in, yes, and they both came into this postseason.
Yeah.
As low seeds. Like I think the Lakers were the 7th or 8th seed.
Lakers are a 7 seed. I know that.
Yeah. And the Heat were definitely not a top 2 seed.
I think they're a 6. I really
Yeah,
do.
I was saying. So they did both just squeak in, but man, and that's the biggest thing. Personally, think is Jimmy Butler is a great basketball player. He is an all-star. But when you get Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, it is a different animal. He is going all the way through that wall.
I agree. It's interesting. The one sports thing that I want to throw out is that Manchester United are slowly losing hope as a team, and
I just drafted them.
we're gonna struggle to finish top 4 this season. Now we are only 1 point ahead of Liverpool with like 4 or 5 games in the regular season to go. Now, was top 4 a reality when we started this season? No, but have we been playing really well? Yes. Have we decided all of a sudden that we don't know how to play soccer anymore? 110%. We've lost our last like 2 games. We tied a game. We can't buy a break. We have to if we win, we do have a game in hand. If we win out, which the teams that we're playing, it is very, I'm not going to say easy, but very likely, highly likely that we win. We are not playing any top tier teams. We do play Chelsea, but they are definitely not a top tier team this year. They are struggling hard. We can finish top 4 because we have 1 more game in hand than Liverpool does, but we cannot tie and we cannot lose. And if we finish 5th, it's fine. It's understandable. I understand. It's Eric Ten Hag's first season as manager, and everybody's bashing him. I think he's done a great job with the team he has. Let this man cook. Let us sell the team this year. Let's get some money behind them, and let's buy some fucking players for next year. What bothers me, for anybody out there that is listening, that is a Man United fan or just a soccer fan in general, but definitely I'm talking to all you Manchester United fans out there, is we are 38, 40 games into this man's coaching career. One season, and y'all are ragging him because we might slip out of the top four. Homie, he has done better than any coach we've had since Jose Mourinho, which was in 2017, which was the last time we won a trophy. He won us a trophy this year, and we have a chance to win a second. So stop hating on the man for he's new to the Premier League. He's made some questionable substitutions, but he's just trying his team out and figuring out pretty much who he wants to keep next year. If any of you have a problem with that, fight me.
Did you guys finish last year?
7th. 6th, because we made the Europa League. 6th.
I thought you guys you didn't have a great finish last year, and
No.
I feel like you weren't predicted to do super high this year.
No. And people are like Marcus Rashford just made Premier League team of the season or of the year, right? Like as one of the starting 11. We had 2 players, Casemiro and Marcus Rashford. I have both their jerseys. I represent both of them hard because I love both of them. People are like, he's only scored 4 goals in his last 8 games. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Go fuck yourself if you think that he's scoring a goal every other game is bad. It's like he's already scored 32 or 33 this year for us. Like, give the man a break. He's tired. But anyway, stop being a little fair weather Man United fan, everyone. Support our coach and support our team and pray that we don't restructure David De Gea's contract and we get a new goalie. But other than that, I'm done. I'm done with my rant. I promise I'm done.
And that's all I got, man.
Dude, me too. That's all I got. So, actually, I lied. I have one more thing. For everybody that played in our bracket challenge, I am still waiting on the prizes. I have messaged this lady that made these prizes today at 2. She hasn't responded. There's a shipping label created, but it just still says that it's not shipped out. I don't know what's going on with it. I promise we will get it them. Even if I have to get our money back from this and order something new. It has a shipping code, so I know the label is created, and it says it was supposed to be delivered the 4th through the 6th of this month, and it's just not. But I just want to let everybody, I want to apologize to everybody out there that played that why we don't have this yet. It should have, we had it, I gave everything that we needed, payment, all this stuff to this person, and it has been a roller coaster, but we will get you out that. Hopefully it's there. Maybe it just says shipped and it hasn't updated tracked. It's in my mailbox, but it wasn't today because I already checked my mail. But we will get it out to you. We didn't forget about you. I promise. The guy that won, I know that you listen to this, and I know I messaged you on Twitter about it. I promise your prize is coming. It's being very freaking difficult right now. And I promise we will get it. I don't care if I have to hand sew everything. I will get all of you something. Also, last thing, and Rick and I are going to talk about this when we get off the pod, is we might do our first in-person session next weekend. Not this coming weekend, not the 12th weekend, but the weekend of the 19th. Not Mother's Day weekend, but the weekend after. So about a week and a half from now. We may, not saying we're doing, but we may do an in-person session on Friday. We don't know. Or Saturday, we may not even have a pod. I might just bring something we set up, and Saturday we might have might just do a live stream in your house. But we don't know. Options to come on that one, so maybe. But other than that, you have nothing else, Richard? All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, you You can always email us at slamsfistfact@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter, a YouTube, go figure, because we're on YouTube, and a TikTok. They are all at slamsfistfact. If you ever want to see anything cool, we are actually very close to getting to our 100 followers on TikTok, to where Richard is going to have to do a TikTok dance. So I just want to throw it out there. If we get to 100 before next weekend, that means that Rick, I get to do the TikTok. I'll do the TikTok dance with Rick because we'll be together. If we get to 100 followers on TikTok before that,
Before the 19th.
Rick and I will do the TikTok dance together. If not,
After that, I might just break my leg so I don't have to.
Exactly. But everybody have a great day. We will talk to you later. We love you all. Thanks for being great. I'll get those prizes out whenever they come.